RIN TV coverage of the 2015 RIMS conference is brought to you by Inform Applications. One of the more pervasive risks affecting businesses today is the threat of a cyber attack. We spoke with Marsh's cyber product leader, Bob Parisi, during the recent RIMS conference in New Orleans to get his assessment of cyber risk and the market for cyber insurance. Here is his report.
The cyber threat to American businesses, it's hard to quantify if you kind of take it in less of an algebraic and look at it more holistically. You know, any company that touches or handles confidential information and any company that utilizes technology in its day-to-day operations has the risk. So unless you're selling fruits and vegetables by the side of the road, you've got cyber risk. It's just a question of where you fit on the spectrum of privacy, of operational risk. But everyone's got it. Depending on who you listen to, and there have been a lot of reports as to where the biggest threats are, you can talk to some people who say the biggest threat is the insider, whether it's a rogue employee, whether it's a stupid employee. You also can talk to people who will immediately cite to a variety of state-sponsored actors. Frankly, it's just the interconnectivity of companies and the increasing use of technology and reliance upon technology that creates that threat. We hear a lot about privacy breaches, a lot about lost credit cards, but when you look at how dependent every company is on technology for its day-to-day business, that's how big the threat is. That's where the threat is. Governments reacted in a couple of ways. We saw a push from the White House to the executive order that manifested itself in the NIST framework. Most recently, we've seen the House pass a bill that talks about creating some liability protections for companies that share information. But again, that's just for liability resulting from the sharing of the information. It's not going to protect them from actual loss or liability if they cause harm. What we've seen with the NIST framework, for example, is an attempt to create, for lack of a better term, a building code for technology and the internet. And I think that's a good thing. Frankly, anything that creates or increases awareness is going to improve the situation. There are things that are punitive, the state breach notification laws, the SEC guidances that talk about what you have to do. But that increasing awareness, that sharing of information, I think that's where the government really can have some impact. There are a lot of effective cyber insurance products. You know, cyber insurance is at its core an insurance base. What we've seen though is companies moving into being more proactive in helping clients understand their risk, helping clients prepare and respond to the risk. And that's where we're seeing the development, and that's where the vacuum is. Being able to model the risk and being able to understand it, because cyber insurance, as I said, it's just insurance. Helping clients understand what their risk is, apart from whether or not they buy insurance, is key, and that's where you have to start. Insurance is the end of the spectrum. It handles that residual risk, but you got to manage that risk first. I think the most important thing that risk managers can do is to treat cyber risk as operational risk and making sure that they are breaking down the silos, making sure that they're talking to the CTO, the CIO, the CISO, because that's where the problem comes in, of not knowing. You might be doing things great, but if you don't know what's going on, getting all the risk stakeholders. The risk manager is the financial risk stakeholder. He handles the balance sheet risk. The CTO handles the technology risk. Same thing with the Chief Information Security Officer. Making sure that cyber risk is treated the same way you treat any other material or operational risk, that's the key thing. At Marsh, we view ourselves as the trusted risk advisor, from helping clients understand their risk to helping them transfer the risk and everything in between, benchmarking, modeling, responding, analyzing the risk. We want to be a company that clients can come to when they want to understand their risk holistically, but also then be able to respond and deal with that risk and manage that risk holistically as well.
For more of our coverage of the 2015 RIMS conference in New Orleans, visit the RIN TV On Demand Library.